pay special tribute to Colonel Roy D. Bridges, Jr. upon his departure as Commander, Eastern Space and Missile Center. And we welcome Colonel John R. Wormington, the new commander. The presiding officer for today's ceremony is Lieutenant General Donald L. Cromer, Commander, Space Systems Division. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the arrival of the honor party and the colors, and remain standing for the national anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, singing our national anthem this morning will be Mr. Bruce Aga.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the Rockies' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Colonel Roy D. Bridges, Jr. is relieved from duty as Commander, Eastern Space and Missile Center, Patrick Air Force Base, Florida, effective 27 January, 1990. Attention to orders, Department of the Air Force. By direction of the President, Colonel John R. Wormington is appointed Commander, Eastern Space and Missile Center, Patrick Air Force Base, Florida, effective 27 January, 1990. Ladies and gentlemen, Lieutenant General Donald L. Cromer, Commander, Space Systems Division.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this change of command ceremony on this beautiful day at Patrick Air Force Base. The change of command ceremony is a military tradition that marks a definite milestone in the history of an organization. It is, by design, a formal ceremony that unambiguously signifies the change of authority from the old commander to the new. It provides us a means of a public announcements of the new commander's arrival, an introduction to the troops, and an opportunity to introduce him to everyone. It also allows us to step back and reflect upon the changes and accomplishments during the tenure of the old commander. Colonel Roy Bridges has been assigned as commander of the Eastern Space and Missile Center since March 24th, 1989. He came to ISMIC at a very critical time in the Air Force space program. As a former astronaut, however, he was well qualified to take that task on. His tenure at ISMIC coincided with the resurgence of our launch capability that was severely strained our resources to accomplish the mission before us. Roy's strong leadership ensured the numerous successes, and they ran the gamut from the first launch of the Titan IV, the first commercial Delta launch, and the first commercial Titan launch. And at the other end of that spectrum, Roy saw the last launch of the Titan 34D and the last FleetSat communications satellite system placed into orbit. A year ago, we advertised that we would launch 6 GPS satellites last year. It took us 1 year and 24 days to do that. That's a testimony to the accomplishments of this organization and Colonel Bridges. And we have had 28 successful launches since the Challenger and the Titan accidents took place. Another testimony to the mission success of the organization and the leadership of the command. Just in his tenure, Roy had successfully launched 14 DoD payloads, and every mission flown aboard the shuttle since the return to flight, except for the one that just landed a few days ago, flew either a DoD payload or an inertial upper stage, all of which we procured in Systems Command and were processed here at the Cape. During this same period, the Test Operational Control Center was turned from a paper design into reality. When completed, it will significantly modernize and improve every service that the ETR offers. One of its key features will be 2 separate control centers so that we can have rapid turnaround between major tests or launches. But even more significant than these great accomplishments, Roy Bridges understood the importance of the people to the mission. We wish you and Benita the best in your next assignment at Headquarters Systems Command. You're going to a job that's well suited for your talents as the Deputy Chief of Staff Test and Resources. Godspeed and good luck to both of you. But as we say goodbye to Roy, we realize that he has left a few things for his successor, Jack Wormington, to worry about. Jack comes to ISMIC with fine credentials, and he is no stranger to accepting responsibilities to meeting these new challenges. Jack has spent most of his career in the space world, including a tour at Headquarters Air Force in the Directorate of Space and a Space Systems Division in the ASAT program as Program Director for Special Projects, and most recently as the Director of the Joint DoD-NASA Advanced Launch System Program Office. In order to meet these requirements, we must, while we're meeting that launch schedule, rebuild our range and launch facilities for the future. It will be a decade that will see the Titan IV come into its own. The new Atlas II launched will complete the GPS constellation, and commercial space activities will bound to intensify. It will be a decade that will see change all about us. in the world we live in the United States, in the Department of Defense, and in the Air Force. Change, in fact, is happening so rapidly that no one can predict today what next year is going to be all about. And I think we must learn to deal with that change and live with it, to cope with it and to manage it, to not let it manage us. It will require new and imaginative approaches, and that's something that Jack is well qualified and suited for, having established the ALS Program Office as the hallmark of an innovative program using the principles of TQM. Well, indeed, the challenge ahead of all of us are enormous, and Jack, we're depending on you to meet them here at ESMIC with enthusiasm and creativity, and I have full confidence that you will do just that. You indeed have a fine legacy to lean on. It's been left to you by Roy Bridges, his predecessors, but mostly by the team of men and women here at ESMIC that are here to help you. Use them, lean on them, and I'm sure they will not disappoint you. So Jack, we welcome you and Peggy to ESMIC, to Patrick Air Force Base, the home of the Eastern Space and Missile Center. While we hate to see you leave Los Angeles, we're delighted that you will remain in the Space Systems Division family. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, Colonel Roy D. Bridges, Jr.
Jill Cromer, Colonel and Mrs. Wormington, distinguished and honored guests, ladies and gentlemen, and men and women of ESMAC, and I mean the bigger family of ESMAC that I see represented here today. Jill Cromer, thank you for your kind comments. Today we gather on another weekend, another Saturday, as we've done many times this year, this time for the time-honored tradition of a change of command. Only 10 months since the last one, only about 10 days since we heard the news that I would be leaving. And that is about how this whole period has been, dynamic to say the least. Time, short or long, is an opportunity to do something or not, move forward or stand still. You have not stood still. You moved forward, moved America back into space with a vigor and a confidence that tells one and all this is an important task and one in which we must not and shall not fail. Move forward in testing and proving a new generation of space vehicles, satellites, and missiles to deter war and advance our civilization. It was not easy, nor were the opportunities for rest along the way frequent or long. No, it was more like a race into the breaking surf of the Atlantic, water crashing and waves trying to steal our breath and knock us down. Relentlessly, like the problems we face this year, as we progress through one critical launch after another, one more critical briefing and tour after another, to those who could solve our resource and infrastructure problems if only they would accept the challenge. You did not shy from these opportunities. No, you accepted them and gave each one your best shot, and succeeded. So what is 10 months? 31 launches on the range, 17 space vehicles successfully to orbit, dozens more facilities fixed, hundreds of satisfied customers to whom you really listened well and served as they desired, not as we dictate. A range modernization well underway, budget problems, some solved, more understood, not enough money, but more than we expected 10 months ago. People more involved in the mission, people more involved in the total life of ESMIC here. Total quality management becoming a way of life, slowly but steadily, and Jack Wormington is an expert on TQM and will be able to coach you as you go forward in that process. Yes, you did a lot in 10 months. More than we expected. Better than we expected. All because we worked together as a team with the confidence that we would succeed if we gave it our best shot. So today we pause to reflect, welcome your new commander and his wife, Colonel Jack and Peggy Wormington. As General Cromer said, they bring much to offer here, and you have much to give and to teach him as you all work together as a team. Well, relish the satisfaction of these achievements and accomplishments that General Cromer and I have mentioned, and then go forward with Colonel Wormington as you did with me and tackle the new challenges, because there'll be many. They won't be easy, but the victory is often sweeter as a result, and soon it will be your turn, all of you, and Jack, to go on to other duties, and you, like Benita and I, will know that you are a part of this place and this organization, this community, and this mission forever. General Cromer, thank you for giving me the opportunity to command and for your great support and understanding throughout. It's been continuous. Best wishes to each of you. Thanks for your magnificent support. Congratulations on your accomplishments. There were many. You did it. God bless.
Ladies and gentlemen, Colonel John R. Wormington, Commander, Eastern Space and Missile Center.
General Cromer, Colonel and Mrs. Bridges, ladies and gentlemen of Patrick Air Force Base and Eastern Space and Missile Center. As I was thinking about this speech and wrestling how to describe what I feel, I was struck by the contrast, old and new, that this ceremony represents. The symbolism and tradition of a change of command stretches back hundreds of years. Those powerful words by direction of the President of the United States recognize this nation's 200-year tradition of civilian control of the military. The ranks we wear, the titles we carry, go back 400 years. The salutes we exchange go back 1,000 years to medieval knights. The Greek strategos of 2,000 years ago is General Cromer's predecessor. And the flag we passed is the battlefield standard marking the location of the leader, and its origins lost in antiquity, so long ago that it isn't recorded in history. Contrast that with the remarkably short time that the mission of this organization has existed. My grandparents were born before the Wright brothers flew. My father earned flying lessons by washing biplanes in Dodge City, Kansas. I was born before the United States Air Force was created. America's entry into space came 30 years ago, right here, what is now the Eastern Space and Missile Center. Then and now, this is the nation's main highway to space, and in such a short time. And in that time, one of the remarkable pages in its history is Colonel Bridges' able leadership during the return to flight when we got back to flying. General Cromer, the long tradition that the military holds that it's an honor to be chosen for command. For those of us that grew up dreaming of space, it's a singular honor to hold the command of this organization, the cradle of America's space program. And I thank you very much for that honor. For the people of Eastern Space and Missile Center, I'm proud to join you as part of America's first team in space. Thank you very much. I look forward to working with you all.
Mrs. Bridges and Mrs. Gray, will you please come forward to the stage? Mrs. Gray is presenting flowers to Mrs. Bridges on behalf of the men and women of the Eastern Space and Missile Center in sincere appreciation of her loyalty and dedication. Patrick Air Force Base community expresses appreciation to Colonel and Mrs. Bridges and wishes them success in their future endeavors. We welcome Colonel and Mrs. Wormington and entrust to them the continued success of the Eastern Space and Missile Center. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for attending today's ceremony. You are invited to join us in welcoming the Wormingtons at a reception in the Officers Club. Please rise for the retiring of the colors and remain standing until the honor party has departed.